Cats are so popular on the internet that there's an actual page on Wikipedia called Cats and the Internet. They're the second most popular pet after dogs, and a group of kittens is called a Kindle, so that's super cute. In this video, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about cat brains and cat intelligence. There's a lot of cute footage in this one, so stick around. Hello Neuronauts, Cognic here, and today we're going to be learning all about cat brains. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about the size and structure of the feline brain, along with how intelligent cats really are. We'll also be comparing cats to other animals, discussing feline brain diseases, and we'll talk about why catnip can make a cat act funny. If you have a cat, tell me a funny story about them in the comments down below. I read all the comments and I would love to hear from you. Starting off, let's talk about the brain structure of cats. A cat's brain is about 5 centimeters long and makes up less than 1% of its body weight. The surface area of a cat's brain is about 83 square centimeters, which sounds like a lot, but it's about the size of this piece of paper. The brain of a house cat is made up of 3 major regions: the olfactory bulb, the cerebrum, and the cerebellum. The olfactory bulb processes a cat's sense of smell, and it's relatively large for a cat's size, suggesting that smells and odors play a large role in a cat's life. The cerebrum can be thought of as the main part of a cat's brain. It contains memory, sensory, and other processing centers. A cat's cerebrum contains some of the same brain regions as humans: a hippocampus, an amygdala, and more. A cat's cerebellum controls fine motor skills, balance, and coordination. Humans also have a cerebellum, as do many other animals, and our cerebellums tend to control the same things. The cerebellum is very important for motor learning. As we grow up and develop, we learn how to move our bodies and how much strength we should use when we pick up or handle objects. This is motor learning. Cat brains, like human brains, have lots of bumps and folds. Neuroscientists call brains like this gyrencephalic. Now, let's see how cats compare to some other animals. When comparing animal brains, it can be difficult because they come in so many different shapes and sizes. One solution to this is to look at an animal and see how much of the animal's weight the brain accounts for. As I mentioned before, a cat's brain takes up less than 1% of its body weight. A dog's brain takes up an even smaller percent of its own body weight. Okay, so I can hear all of the cat people saying, "Awesome! Cats are smarter than dogs!" Unfortunately for those cat people, it's not that simple because dogs, even tiny dogs that are smaller than cats, have more neurons than cats. Studies by a scientist named Susanna Herculano-Huzel looked at how many neurons different animals have in their brains. A cat's cortex has about 300 million neurons, while a dog's cortex has about 530 million. The higher amount of neurons allows for more connections and possibly more complex processing, suggesting that dogs might have more intelligence. I want the cat people to be happy though, so here's a fact from the same study. Cats have the same amount of neurons as bears. That means that cats are as smart or smarter than big old bears, and I'd call that a win for the cat lovers. So, are cats smart? I like to say that every organism is intelligent in its own way, and cats are no exception. Cats have the ability to read human body language, something that not all animals can do. Like humans, cats also understand object impermanence. Object impermanence is the idea that if I were to take a ball and put it in a box and then close the box, I still know that the ball is there, even though I can't see the ball directly. That might seem obvious to you as a human, and that's great, but some animals don't have the ability to understand object impermanence, so if you hide an object from them, they might just forget that it exists. Cats, however, can understand object impermanence just like us. Cats also understand quantity, so if I put 2 bowls of treats in front of a cat, it can correctly select the one that has more. It's also been suggested that cats have a perception of time and can understand orders of events. So what about the use of cats in neuroscience research? Cats have played a huge role in neuroscience research and have led to some amazing discoveries. Roger Sperry used cats in his work on split brain, which eventually won him the Nobel Prize. He discovered that the hemispheres of the brain are independent and connected through the corpus callosum. This eventually led to new surgical treatments for epilepsy. Cats have also been used to study epilepsy, deafness, and visual processing in the brain. One of the coolest cat-related neuroscience studies I've seen involved hooking up equipment to a cat's brain and then looking through its eyes like a living security camera. At the University of California, Berkeley, neurobiologist Yang Dan found a way to tap into the visual system of cats to look through their eyes and see what they see. On the left is a video that was shown to a cat, and on the right is what the computer saw through the cat's brain signals. So cool! Now let's talk about brain illness. Cats can suffer from or cause different brain diseases. Earlier, we talked about a part of the brain called the cerebellum. Some cats suffer from a condition called cerebellar hypoplasia. Hypoplasia means underformed, so cerebellar hypoplasia means an underformed cerebellum. When a pregnant cat is infected with a feline panleukopenia virus, it might pass that virus to its unborn kittens. This virus tends to attack dividing cells, and in the last weeks of pregnancy and first weeks of a kitten's life, their cerebellums grow a lot, which means that there's a lot of dividing cells. If the development of a kitten's cerebellum is affected by this virus, it might get cerebellar hypoplasia, or an underdeveloped cerebellum. Cerebellar hypoplasia can cause uncoordinated movement, swaying from side to side when walking, and tremors. In rare and extreme cases, feline panleukopenia virus can lead to something called hydranencephaly. This condition can cause large parts of the cerebrum to be missing or destroyed because of large cysts. Prognosis from this disease is generally very poor. It has very poor outcomes. The disease causes blindness, fits of rage, and trouble eating, drinking, or standing. Manx cats, a breed of cat from the Isle of Man, sometimes have a neurological condition called split spine. Spina bifida occulta, also known as split spine, is caused by a gene called the tailless gene. This gene shortens the tail and the spine and sometimes causes problems with the spine fusing closed during development. The resulting split spine can cause problems in controlling going to the bathroom, as well as problems controlling and having reflexes in the hind legs. Cats also get a neurological condition called feline dysfunction syndrome. This condition is similar to Alzheimer's disease in humans and is caused by deterioration in the cat's brain. Feline dysfunction syndrome causes cats to have disorientation, aggression, antisocial behavior, depression, and problems going to the bathroom. Cats can also cause brain illnesses in humans. You might have heard the stereotype of a crazy cat lady, but there actually might be a neuroscientific reason for that. Cats will sometimes pick up a single-celled parasite called Toxoplasma gondii. For the first 1 to 3 weeks of infection, a cat will poop out eggs of the parasite. Cleaning an infected cat's litter box or ingesting something that came into close contact with the feces of an infected cat can cause a person to get this parasite. It takes 1 to 5 days for the parasite's eggs to activate, which is why cleaning your cat's litter box daily protects you from the parasite and keeps your cat happy. The United States Centers for Disease Control, the CDC, estimates that over 40 million people in the United States might be infected with this parasite. So what does infection with the parasite Toxoplasma gondii actually do to a person? If you have a good immune system, generally nothing. You might get flu-like symptoms or swollen lymph nodes during a flare-up, but if you have a bad immune system, that's a different story. In individuals with weakened immune systems, Toxoplasma gondii can cause toxoplasmosis. This disease can be subtle, but it can also cause brain damage and leads to headaches, confusion, poor coordination, seizures, and blurred vision. It's been suggested that even mild cases of toxoplasmosis can cause mental health problems like anxiety and personality disorders. See? Crazy cat ladies might be explainable by neuroscience. So now you might be wondering, what about catnip? Catnip is a plant called Nepeta cataria, and it's closely related to mint. This plant uses a chemical called nepeta-lactone as an insect repellent to protect itself from harmful mites. Turns out, this chemical resembles a cat pheromone, so when sniffed by a cat, it triggers a cat's pheromone receptors. This activates a few different areas in a cat's brain. First, the smell processing part of a cat's brain, the olfactory bulb, responds to the scent. Next, the cat's amygdala and hypothalamus are activated. Among other things, a cat's amygdala handles fear processing and some decision making. The hypothalamus handles sensory processing, but also sexual response. That's one of the reasons that catnip can, how do I put this, make your cat frisky. The effects of catnip last for about 15 minutes and then they wear off. After catnip use, a cat won't respond to catnip for another 30 to 60 minutes. This is because a cat's brain and pheromone receptors need time to reset. Catnip only affects 50 to 70% of cats, and so your cat may or may not be affected by catnip, and that's okay. That was a lot of information about cats, so I hope you enjoyed it and you learned something new. As I said before, if you have a cat or a story about cats, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear. If you like this video, consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out and it makes my day a whole lot better. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care of your brains, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, guys.